English cricket's issues with inclusion and diversity rise high above a lack of opportunity for young black players. For coaches and decision makers, the outlook is just as bleak.
One run out to win us the game. Let's go. Oh yeah, well done.
And it has been for some time. Mark Alleyne is the only black British head coach across 18 counties since 1990. His spell at Gloucestershire ended in 2007. Vikram Solanki became the first ever British Asian to get a top job when he took over at Surrey in June. And as of 2019, there were just 2 black British coaches or managers from 118 positions in county cricket.
I never normally see any, black coaches around, and as you do meet, the former players and the ex-players, you have those type of conversations, and when you do have the conversations, it always seems like a barrier. I don't think no one deserved to be, given anything, but it would be nice if I could be able to present myself, to be interviewed, to talk about my experience, to show people what I could do in a room. So that's the only thing I would ask for, and not to say, here's a job.
For Miller, that opportunity to impress should be increased by the ECB's decision to extend the Rooney Rule to coaching jobs within the county system. But that commitment to interviewing at least one black or ethnic minority candidate isn't seen as the ideal solution by everyone.
The Rooney Rule is not a perfect solution to any situation that we face. What the Rooney Rule starts to do is help address the unconscious bias that we unquestionably face as a game. Now, with a combination of activities, the Rooney Rule on its own doesn't work, but it does put black coaches in front of decision makers around roles that may start to help address the unconscious bias issue.
So you have to include a person of colour, I get that, fine. But if you've got the same racist setup, what's going to change? There has to be change at the top. There has to be a weeding out of the current system, and like you say, get more diverse people in there so that there can be a transition of more coaches coming.
But the lack of diversity spreads further into the corridors of Lords. A 12-person ECB board, which they will point out is well represented in terms of gender, but in relation to race, Director Lord Kamlesh Patel is the only non-white member. Is this a governing body really in a position to truly deal with racism and a lack of inclusion?
Having people in positions of power is the most vital piece to ensuring that we're going to see change for the black community and other ethnic minorities in the game. And the reason I would say that is you need to have people at the top asking the hard questions. Whether in the short term there needs to be some consultancy or something, but what is clear is there needs to be someone at the top of all the game, and actually I would extend that to the counties, being able to ask questions on behalf of the community.
English cricket has proved it is capable of changing a broken system on the pitch with the transformation of their 50-over side to become world champions 4 years after a disastrous campaign in the same competition. Now the governing body want to be judged harshly on whether they can oversee a similar change to eradicate the unconscious bias they've admitted exists within the sport.
I want the pressure of accountability on this. It is a difficult challenge, but I think we're a long way from where we were 3 months ago on this. I actually think we're a long way as a game to where we were 2 years ago on this. It's just that some of that change takes a long time to filter through. But for me, as Chief Executive of the ECB, I don't think there's a more important challenge for the game to go through over the next 5 to 10 years.
It was perhaps fitting that the West Indies arrived first for this summer's Test cricket and along with England sent a powerful message of support to the Black Lives Matter movement. But if those in positions of power can't bring about the drastic change demanded throughout the game, such a show of unity may all be in vain. Rob Jones, Sky Sports.